Hello everybody. We just completed week 1 of Crown the King and would like to recap this week of the league. So let's start with the games. First, Cowboys versus Eagles, where the Eagles defeated the Cowboys 28-7, knocking Cowboys to 0-1 and raising Eagles to 1-0. Second, the Chiefs at the Chargers, where Chargers defended their home 25-21, raising Chargers 1-0 and lowering the Chiefs to 0-1. The Browns hosted the Bengals for a home victory of 34-26, leaving Bengals starting the season 0-1 and making the Browns 1-0. The Commanders had to visit the Giants and wish they didn't in a loss of 27-17, making the Giants 1-0 and the Commanders 0-1. However, the Steelers enjoyed their visit to the Jets in an away victory of 24-14. Giving them a 1-0 start to their season, while the Jets are 0-1. An intense rivalry has started between the Patriots and the Raiders in their game, with the Pats coming away with a win 48-38. Both sides, however, are making sure the trash talk is heard about the other team. The Pats are now 1-0 and the Raiders are 0-1. After that, we cover the Buccaneers and the Falcons, with the score being 21-17 in favor of the Bucs. This leaves the Falcons at 0-1 and the Bucs 1-0. Over at the Jaguars' home field, they celebrate a 23-16 win over the Panthers, securing a 1-0 start to the Panthers 0-1. The Saints, however, are doing some reflection on their Week 1 performance against the Cardinals, in which they lost 35-20, leaving them with a 0-1 start compared to the Cardinals' 1-0. Next, we go to the Broncos' home stadium, in which they successfully only let the Titans score once in a 37-7 win, giving them a desired 1-0 start while the losing Titans start 0-1. Now we swing down to Seattle, where the Seahawks won against the 49ers 21-17, starting their season 1-0 while the 49ers go 0-1. Texans versus Rams are up next, with the Rams winning 35-20. Letting the Rams walk away with a 1-0 start and leaving the Texans trying to come back from a 0-1 beginning. Lions against Packer ended with the Packers having just over double the Lions score with a 49-21 win, giving the Packers a beautiful 1-0 start and giving the Lions the desire to win their next game as a 0-1 team. Ravens versus Bills was a shootout, ending in a one-score win for the Ravens, moving the Bills 0-1 and the Ravens 1-0. Finally, the Vikings completely blew out the Bears in a 72-21 win, leaving the Vikings with a comfy 1-0 and the Bears struggling with a 0-1. The Week 2 schedules go as follows: Commanders at Packers, Jaguars at Bengals, Bears at Lions, Rams at Titans, Giants at Cowboys, Browns at Ravens, 49ers at Saints, Bills at Jets, Patriots at Dolphins, Seahawks at Steelers, Panthers at Cardinals, Broncos at Colts, Eagles at Chiefs, Falcons at Vikings, Buccaneers at Texans, and Chargers at Raiders. Now let's go to the league leaders. Passing, Caleb Williams with 22 completions to 33 attempts, 486 yards, 8 touchdowns, 0 interception. Rushing, Jeremiah Love with 32 attempts, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, 7.6 average. Receiving, Jameson Williams with 9 catches, 212 yards, 5 touchdowns, 23.6 average, 1 drop pass. Sacks, Derek Hall 3 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks. Interceptions, Caden Ellis 5 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions. Now, on to big trades. Rams DJ Moore traded to the Seahawks for Denzel Boston. Another big one is Bucks Kyle Pitts Sr. and Nick Chubb going to the 49ers in exchange for Ty Simpson, Darnell Washington, Zach Charbonnet, and a 4th-round 2026 pick. Finally, Vikings received Jevon Holland and Kentavious Street for Christian Barmore, Zaire Franklin, and a 2027 4th-round pick. With that, you are now caught up with the current events of the league. We will see you in Week 3 with a recap of Week 2. Please like and subscribe to keep up with the current events of the league.